Oh no, self-isolation. How am I going to deal with this? Now, I'm sure you would agree that this whole coronavirus or COVID-19 situation is all getting a little bit freaky. And I'm sure you're aware by now that at some point, quite a few of us will have to go into self-isolation, or maybe if the government says so, maybe all of us will have to lock down at some point. So I wanted to make this clip to try and point out some of the positives that we can get out of this situation if that happens, and to give you some techniques on dealing with maybe a 14-day lockdown if that happened, and how to make it possibly one of the best times of your life. So before you get all negative about the possibility of having to go into self-isolation, think about the positives. Let's just look at the positives of the situation here. Now, if you've been watching my clips on goal setting and listening to my other clips about meditation and whatnot, you're probably thinking, I don't have the time to do all that. Well, now there's no excuses. You can't use that excuse. If you've got to self-isolate for 14 days, what a perfect time to get right stuck into your self-improvement journey. Now think about this. If one of your goals is to lose weight, what a perfect time to structure your diet for 14 days. You're not going to be able to go out and hang around the street too much, so the temptations of junk food won't be there. The peer pressure from your friends to go out and have cake and coffee and that so much. So you can really structure a bit of a diet plan at home for 2 weeks. You can really get on top of things in 2 weeks, and you can really develop a new habit over a 14-day period. So think about the positive there. What a great way to start your weight loss journey. Now take a minute to think about this one quite seriously. If you've got a habit that you need to break, let's just say you've developed a bit of an alcohol problem, or you're smoking too much cannabis, or you're a cigarette smoker. What a perfect time to take that challenge on. When you give up these habits, you can get quite short-tempered. It's not easy to do when you're around other people. If you're going into a short period of self-isolation, what a really good time to knuckle down and take on that habit once and for all. Try and knock it on the head. You've got 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you can have it all out of your system, and you can go back out into society with your new improved lifestyle. So just one thing I'd like to point out, if you are going to try and overcome a habit during this period, and you are with your family, or you're with flatmates or some friends during this period, just let them know what you're attempting to take on during that period. So if you do get a bit short-tempered, they understand. They understand that you may need to go for a walk, or you may need a little bit of space on your own for a while when things get a bit tough, because they do get very tough. Now, if you're with your family, you can have a little talk with your family, tell them beforehand what you're going to try and achieve in this 14-day period, and they can work with you. You can improve your diet together, go for family walks together, and really work on developing or overcoming that habit together. And it makes it an even more positive experience. Maybe it's a new career you've been dreaming about, or it's on your goal list that you need to achieve, but you've been stuck in your old job and it hasn't given you the space or the time to get away and have a look at what you can do. So from home, on your computer or on your phone or on your iPad, you've got access to the whole world, and no doubt you'll be sitting there staring at screens a lot of the time anyway. Maybe you could be doing a new course. There's plenty of short courses you could knock over in 14 days. You're going to have plenty of time to do it. So why not have a look at doing that? There's heaps of skills you can learn, even on YouTube. There's plenty of how-to videos. Learn a new skill. Come out the other end of this little self-isolation period feeling a hell of a lot more positive and on a totally new journey, and that's enough to kickstart your new life. Now, I can't stress enough how important exercise is for your mental health. I'm huge on exercise, and not all of you are lucky enough to live in an absolutely magnificent place like I do here. So as you can see, I don't have any issues with self-distancing. So if we happen to go into a bit of a lockdown for a while, I'm going to be out here walking with the dog every day and really clearing my mind. What a beautiful place just to sit, clear the mind, and have a bit of a meditate. But if you're, stuck in an apartment in the city maybe, well, there's ways you can exercise as well. It's great to jump on a treadmill or an exercise bike. Just make sure you keep that fitness up and really help to keep your mind healthy, because that's what this is all about, keeping positive and keeping that mental health together. Now, the most powerful thing about this, I believe, is this will give us an opportunity to step out of the rat race for a while. We're living in an extremely fast-paced, crazy digital world at the moment, and it's very hard to find some space, some mental space. Use this time productively. Get into some meditation. Have a look at my clip on the short little meditation course that I did a couple of clips ago. Watch some other maybe YouTube clips that give you some information on how to use meditation, and use this time to find a bit of space in your mind, find a bit of silence, a bit of quietness. Look at this place where I am now. Imagine just sitting here for an hour and chilling out. When is the last time you had an opportunity to do that? If you are lucky enough to live in a location like this, or you live near some bush where you can go for a bush walk, how long is it since you've actually, or the beach, how long is it since you've actually just gone down there and sat there quietly and just had a look around yourself and really enjoyed where you are? So here's a suggestion for you. How about you get a pen and paper and you sit down and you have a think about it today, about a bit of a 14-day self-isolation, self-improvement plan for yourself. Include some meditation, healthy diet, some exercise, some activities you'd love to do with your family, your kids, that you don't usually get the opportunity to do. If it's the education you're after for a new career, think about everything. Overcoming that habit, we chatted about that. Just if you set down a few goals of what you want to achieve over the 14 days and just put a bit of a basic list on the fridge so you don't bamboozle yourself. And then if we do happen to have to go into a period of self-isolation, get to work on it. What a perfect opportunity. Imagine how you could come out the other end. Now, I just want to tell you a little story. I do some casual work at a bottle shop, and I'm inundated with people panic buying, and they're coming in and buying an abundance of alcohol in this panicked state, saying, oh my God, 14-day lockdown, I'm going to have nothing else to do but drink. I need plenty of alcohol. They've got a trolley full of chips and shit that they're going to eat, drink grog for 14 days. The world's going to end. Everything's horrible. Now, what sort of a way is that to think? What sort of a negative way is that to think? Imagine if you got a bit of a list, like I've suggested, and you started putting it to action over the 14 days. You could come out the other end in an amazing state, like fully moving forward, taking this opportunity to kickstart those goals, get those really positive habits going in your life. Look at this situation as an opportunity, not as a crisis. I know it's horrible. People are going to die. People are dying through this, but we've got to make the best of it. It's not what happens to us in life that counts. It's how we choose to deal with these situations. Now, in my last video about life's ups and downs, this is what I mean by a down. We're going through a massive down period now, and it's up to you and your decisions to see how you're going to come out of it. Start working on the next up in your life now. Start putting these plans together so when things start to pick up again and things get better, you're going to be well on your way of climbing that next mountain and really kicking some goals. So I hope you've enjoyed this video in this absolutely magnificent location where I live. I love getting up here and having a look around and just finding a bit of peace of mind and a bit of space. Thanks for coming along, and I've enjoyed showing it to you. I'm Steve from Flow Self Improvement. I'll have plenty of more clips coming up. Please make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel. I'll have plenty of more helpful, positive information for you, and see you next time.